Shalom Israel, and welcome to another edition of Yashar's 20-minute breakdown, where I attempt to break down the scriptures within 20 minutes. But first and foremost, as always, we give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Waha, Rakah, Kadash, and the Akims and the elders and the highways and byways pushing this word in truth and sincerity. All praises. And the elder women teaching the younger women. All praises you too. And the camps going out there making videos, edifying the body, pushing it on social media and all outlets possible, pushing the truth according to scriptures. All praises. Now, what I am going to touch on today is the book of Matthew, the first chapter and the 21st verse. Now, this wasn't the topic I was actually going to do, but after last Sabbath, as we were packing up, after me and my brothers finished doing our teaching, as we do teach our people the scriptures and teach them to and show them in the scriptures that they must still be keeping the law, statutes, commandments with the faith of Yahweh Shai, the one that you call Christ. A Christian came up and he was trying to say that this book pertained to everybody. It was all inclusive to all nations, because when he reads scriptures, he reads verses that says all, whosoever, everyone, every man, then Greek and Gentiles. Now, the problem being with those scriptures, when you see it says all and whosoever and everyone and every man and Greek and Gentiles, Christians always take that to pertain to everybody. But you have to remember, you have to bear in mind the context, the setting, and his audience. Now, those are the things you Christians don't bear in mind, because when he says all, he's talking to the Israelites. When he says whosoever, he's talking to the Israelites. When it says everyone, he's talking to everyone of Israel, the Israelites. Every man, he's talking to every man of Israel. Greek, he's talking to the Grecians, the ones who were Israelites and they were living as in the Greek captivity. You can read about that in the Maccabees. They were living as Grecians. They took on Greek customs, Greek fashions. Some of them had Greek names, and some of them only can speak, in the Greek tongue. So they were treated as Greeks, as Grecians, but they were Israelites. Yeah, because they were caught up in the Greek captivity. And you got the Gentiles. Gentiles just means nations anyway, but the Gentiles, you find that, look at today, many people, you go out and you pull, let's say, 10 of my people and ask them, what's their nationality? You get 10 different answers. You hear one say they're black, one will say they're Jamaican, one will say they're Ghanaian, one will say they're Bayesian, one will say they're Caribbean, one will say they're probably colored. You see, like, you'll get 10 different answers, and they're all the same people. They're all Israelites. Now they're in a Gentile state of mind through slavery. Like, we were taught that we are Gentiles. We are not the true Israelites of the Bible, because they've got them people out there in the landmass which they've named Israel. They've got them out there today claiming they're the Jews and they're the people of this book, but they're not. We are the people of this book. This laws, statutes, commandments pertain to us, because only an Israelite can keep the laws. When you tell other nations about the laws, what's the first thing they say? Oh, the laws are done away with. Oh, nobody can keep the laws. They don't even try, because it doesn't resonate with them. Yeah? So come on, Israel, my people, we must stop giving this to other nations. This only belongs to us. It was written by us, for us, to us. Because when you go in here, from front to end, it's only about the Israelites. It tells you about us, who we were before we were in slavery, what happened to us during slavery, and what's going to happen to us once, Yahweh Shai comes back and redeem us and set us back in our own land, and so forth. So this shows the Israelites, which is my people, our past, present, and future. Only pertains to the Israelites. Even you go in the book of Romans, Paul teaches that the covenants, he says covenants with the S, old and new, the glory, which is the kingdom, the giving of the law, the service of God, only the Israelites can serve the Most High. All this, paraphrasing, pertains to the Israelites, doesn't pertain to no other nation. You only find the Israelites that it pertains to. The laws was only given to the Israelites, and everything pertains to Israel. So we must stop in doing this all-inclusive and trying to bring our oppressors and our enemies into the covenant, because it doesn't belong to them. It wasn't given to them. They were not in the wilderness when Moses was giving out the laws, because that's where it pertains. That's where it kind of starts from, the 12 tribes of Israel anyway, let's say from that point, paraphrasing, when we were given the laws, the Most High made a covenant with the Israelites, didn't make a covenant with the whole nation, with all the other nations. He only made a covenant with Israel, and it will show you that in the scriptures. And you have to remember, Israel was a people before it was a place. So let's not get it twisted. When the Bible talks of the Israelites and Israel, it's talking about the sons of Jacob, not the landmass where they named Israel today and the Middle East to throw us off, and we fall for everything, hook, line and sinker, because we don't want to study, and worst of foremost, we don't want no discipline or laws. We want to do what we like. We see how they're living and they look like they're living large, so we want to live like the other nations. But no, this pertains to us, and we are accountable for keeping the laws. This is why we're at the bottom today. Yeah, because we broke the laws. The other nations not being judged for breaking the laws. The blacks, the Hispanics, and the Native Americans, we're being judged for breaking the law right now. Yeah, so we've got to turn and keep the laws. But I'm going to show you that this is our book. This wasn't given to no other nation. You got to remember, in 70 AD, the Romans raided Jerusalem and they raided our temple and trod it down. What did they find in our temple? Remember, they stole everything. They stole our heritage, because this is our heritage. This is our written records. They stole our heritage and then they fed it back to us how they wanted us to learn it, to keep us far from our power. Because if we're not serving him correctly, he will keep us in bondage. So they would still be over us, and they know it. Only we don't seem to know it. So we must return back to the law, statutes, commandments with the faith of Yahushua, the one you call Christ, and the Most High will redeem us out of their hands and put us back as kings and princes and queens and so forth as we were in the beginning. Yeah? So let's go into the scriptures. I'm going to start at Matthew chapter 1 verse 21. And you've got to remember, his name is Yahushua, the one you call Jesus Christ. His correct Hebrew name is Yahushua, and I will be using his correct Hebrew name. So bear that in mind. Well, let's go to the scriptures. I'm going to take it from Matthew chapter 1, verse 21. In 3, 2, 1, boom, we're away. Matthew chapter 1, verse 21, and it reads, "And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahushua. For he shall save his people from their sins." Now, the Bible tells you clearly that Mary, she is Mary, that's going to bring forth a son. That son is Yahushua, and that son is going to save his people from their sins. So let's see who his people is. I'm going to take it, I'm going to just show you this, yeah? So I'm going to take one from the Old Testament, one from the New, and one from the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha is the hidden books, the books that you Roman Catholics under the Protestant in the 18th century, you removed 14 books. You thought it was meat to take 14 books out of the Bible. So you shrink the Bible down to 66 books rather than 80 books, yeah? Now, watch this. I'm going to go to the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 9, verses 15 into 16. Listen to this. 1 Samuel chapter 9 verse 15, and it reads, "Now Yahweh had told Samuel in his ear a day before Saul came, saying, This is what the Most High said to Samuel, saying, verse 16, tomorrow about this time I will send thee a man out of the land of Benjamin, one of the tribes of Israel, out of the land of Benjamin, and thou shalt anoint him to be captain over my people Israel. See that? Over the Israelites, over my people Israel, that he may save my people out of the hand of the Philistines. For I have looked upon my people, because their cry is come unto me. Now you see this? This is before Yahushua comes. Now this is when Saul was anointed to be captain over the host, and then the Most High was going to send an army, Israelites go to fight the Philistines, and they would subdue the Philistines. At that point, the Israelites were keeping the law, statutes, commandments. So the Most High was going to fight for them. Now, let me show you this elsewhere again, who his people is. Matthew chapter 2 and verse 6, and it reads, and thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah, for out of thee shall come a governor. That governor is Yahushua, that shall rule my people Israel. Show you there again. His people is the Israelites. Doesn't say that about no other nation. And you can search the scriptures day and night. You will never hear the Most High say that, or even the Messiah say that about any other nation apart from the Israelites. Now watch this. I'm going to take one from the Apocrypha. I'm going to jump to 2nd Ezra. If you subscribe to Ezra in the Old Testament, Ezra's in the Apocrypha is the same prophet. Just thought I'd get that and make that be known. 2nd Ezra chapter 4 and verse 22 into 23. Listen to this. 2nd Ezra chapter 4 verse 22, and it reads, then answered I and said, I beseech thee, O Yahweh, let me have understanding. That's Ezra asking for understanding. Verse 23, and it reads, for it was not my mind to be curious of the high things, but of such as pass by us daily. Namely, here we go, wherefore Israel is given up as a reproach to the heathen, and for what cause the people whom thou hast loved is given over unto ungodly nations. You see that? And why, listen to this, and why the law of our forefathers is brought to naught, and the written covenants come to none effect. Now you see, now this is at this point now they've broken the law, statutes, commandments, and they've been given up into the hands of other nations. They've gone into slavery, showing again, Israelites. It doesn't say about other nations like went into slavery. The Israelites went into slavery amongst other nations. So you see, this only pertaining to the Israelites. Now, watch this, yeah? Malachi, quickly jump to the book of Malachi, chapter 4, verse 4. Listen to this. Malachi, chapter 4, verse 4, and it reads, remember ye the law of Moses, my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel, with the statutes and judgments. Now you see that? It was only given to all Israel, yeah? So I just want to make that clear. So when people trying to say, when they see in scriptures, when it says all, whosoever, every man, everyone, Greek, Gentile, and they're trying to now say, oh, that's the other nations. Once you believe, yeah, you're a child of God, blah, blah, blah. According to scriptures, only the Israelites, yeah? Right, watch this. I'm going to jump now from Malachi to 2nd Kings. I want to show you this. Watch this. The book of 2nd Kings, chapter 10, verse 31. Listen to this. 2nd Kings, chapter 10, verse 31. And it reads, but Jehu took no heed to walk in the law of Yahweh, God of Israel. See that? It doesn't say God of another nation. God of Israel with all his heart. Yeah, for he departed not from the sins of Jeroboam, which made Israel to sin. Now you see that? Let me read that again so that you grasp that. Listen to this. 2nd Kings chapter 10 verse 31. But Jehu took no heed to walk in the law of Yahweh, God of Israel, with all his heart. for he departed not from the sins of Jeroboam, which made Israel to sin. So you see, and remember, sin is the transgression of the law. You can read that in 1 John chapter 3, verse 4. So you see, when you're breaking the laws of the Most High God, that's when you're in sin. So you see, I just want to show you that. So far, everything is all Israel. No other nation apart from Israel this pertains to, yeah? Now, watch this, yeah? I'm going to jump to Hosea chapter 5, verse 5. Listen to this. Hosea chapter 5, verse 5. And it reads, here we go. It says, and the pride of Israel, see that? And that's the problem with our people. Israelites, my people, the blacks, the Hispanics, and the Native Americans. We're too prideful. We can't just admit, you know what? No, I don't know the Bible. When we're on the street and we're talking to people, yeah, I know. As soon as you say that, your history. Yeah, I know. Before you can finish the sentence. Yeah, I know the Bible. I read it every day. I know. They know everything and do nothing. Now listen to this. I'm going to read this again. Hosea chapter 5, verse 5, and it reads, and the pride of Israel does testify to his face. And that's the problem. This is why we're in the condition we're in. It's testifying to our face because we know everything and do nothing when we know nothing. Just stop being prideful and admit, you know what? No, I don't know the Bible. Please teach me. Yeah, but no, we can't do that. We're too prideful as a nation. Yeah? And the pride of Israel does testify to his face. Therefore shall Israel and Ephraim fall in their iniquity. Judah also shall fall with them. That's now the whole 12 tribe. 12 tribe, because Ephraim was the head tribe of the Israel. After Solomon sinned, you had a split in the kingdom. You had now the northern kingdom, which was called the house of Israel. And you had the southern kingdom, which was called the house of Judah. But here I'm just showing you the two kingdoms fell. Yeah? Because they started to worship idol and backslide and do all sort of abominable things that was not right in the Most High's eyes. Just want to show you that. And you see, it's talking about Israelites again. Watch this. I'm going to jump to the book of Matthew. Show you here again. Matthew chapter 7 and verse 6. And this is out of the Messiah, his own mouth. They're red letters showing the Messiah saying this. Listen to this. Matthew chapter 7 verse 6, and it reads, give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet, and turn again and rend you. So you see that? The Most High, his own mouth says, give not which is holy unto the dogs. The other nations, give not this unto them. This belongs to us. Yeah? So we shouldn't be saying, yeah, we're all welcome. This belongs to you too. You all can get some of this glory and this, salvation. Salvation is only for the Israelites. Yeah? Messiah said at his own mouth. I mean, don't shoot the messenger. And watch this. I'm going to show you that further. Yeah? Listen to this. Psalms. I'm going to jump to the book of Psalms chapter 22 and verse 16. Listen to this. Psalms chapter 22 and verse 16, and it reads, for dogs have compassed me. The assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. They pierce my hands and my feet. Well, he called them dogs again. And I'm going to show you that even more. He's going to call them dogs here again. Watch this. Matthew chapter 15, watch this. Matthew chapter 15 verse 26. Listen to this. This is that Canaanite woman who came begging the Messiah to heal her daughter. Listen to what he says. Matthew chapter 15 verse 26, and it reads, but he answered and said, this is the Messiah speaking now, it is not meet to take the children's bread and to cast it to dogs. You know what? I'm not even going to say a word. Cast them to dogs. Boom, end of story. I'm not going to say nothing on that. It speaks for itself. Watch this. I'm going to jump to the book of Isaiah. Not going to even say nothing on that. Isaiah chapter 56, verses 10 into 11. Watch this. Isaiah chapter 56, verse 10. And it reads, His watchmen are blind. Now, who are the watchmen? It's supposed to be the priests and the pastors and these bishops and these cardinals, all these so-called holy men in the Christian church. And, even some of our people, because our people's gone and learned from the Caucasians, nations who were never given this law, who stole this book when Rome trod down Jerusalem and they took all our goodly treasures out of the temple. And that was in there, the Ark of the Covenant, with the book of the law. They took everything, studied it, and fed it back to us to keep us from our power. And listen to this. I'm going to read this again. Isaiah chapter 56, verse 10. And it reads, His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. See that? Every one of them Christian pastors, they're all ignorant. What does ignorant mean? Unlearned. They don't know the scriptures. They teach no laws. You can eat what you like. You don't have to keep none of the feast days. You can marry. If you're a man, you can marry a man. If you're a woman, you can marry a woman. They teach nothing. They have Sunday worship. All they say, we're going to live by faith. All they do is talk about faith, and grace. Yeah, that's all they teach. Let me take it from the top again. Isaiah chapter 56, verse 10. His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. See that you call them dogs? They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark. See, they can't warn you of anything because they don't know nothing. That's why they can't warn you. They cannot bark. Sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. Listen to this, verse 11. Yea, they are greedy dogs which can never have enough, and they are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way. See that? They all look to their own way. They do what they like. And they tell you, yes, the Lord said this. They prophesy falsely. Yeah? They look to their own way. Everyone for his gain from his quarter. That's all they do. They look, to their own gain. Yeah? Now, watch this. I'm going to quickly jump to the book of Philippians. Philippians chapter 3 verse 2. Listen to this, yeah? Philippians chapter 3 verse 2. And it reads, Beware of dogs, beware of evil workers, beware of the concision. Now, you see that? He's warning you to beware of these people that you're amongst in these churches, Islam, Buddhism, Christianity. Beware of dogs. Beware of evil workers, because they all work evil. None of them teach you righteous laws and justice and judgments. None of them teach you anything apart from, you got to live by grace and don't forget to pay your tithes. That's what they're more interested in, is your money. We need that money to make this happen. Yeah? Now watch this, yeah? Revelations. Watch this. Revelations 22. Watch this. Oh, time's going fast. Revelations 22 and verse 14 into 15. Listen to this. Revelations chapter 22, verse 14. And it reads, Blessed are they that do, hear that? That do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gate into the city. Listen to this. Verse 15. This is what the city won't have in it. Yeah, this kingdom of heaven. Listen to this. Verse 15. For without are dogs, some of these other nations, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. So all those people that's been lying on these scriptures, not teaching you a damn thing, but telling you, you're going to be saved. Yeah? All these people has got their judgment coming, yeah? You don't worry, they've got their judgment coming. Now watch this, yeah? I'm going to jump quickly to the Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha. Watch this. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3 and verse 8. Listen to this. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 8. Now this is pertaining to the Israelites. Listen to this. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord, their power shall reign forever. Remember, I'm not going to use that word because it's either Yahweh or Yahweh Shai. That's the only two words I'm going to use, yeah? So it's showing you that, that The Israelites will be judging the nations. Now watch this, yeah. I'm going to show you that even the Messiah even promised this, yeah. Matthew, watch this. I'm going to quickly jump to the book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse 28. Listen to this. Matthew chapter 19, verse 28. And it reads, And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, here we go, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So you see that? So, well, you know what? I'm not even going to add on that because I'm going to keep moving. Showing you that, see that? The Israelites will be judging, the 12 tribes of Israel, and will be judging, the nations also, right? Let's jump back to, let me jump back quickly to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3. Where was I? Verse 8. I'll just take 8 again. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 8. And it says, And they shall judge the nation. See that? That they are the Israelites. Just showed you that in Matthew, chapter 19. And they shall judge the nation, and have dominion over the people, and their Yahweh shall reign forever. You see that? Now, watch this. I'm going to jump down to verse 9. Verse 9. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth. What is the truth? The law, statutes, and commandments. Remember, thy law is the truth, yeah? I'll put that on the screen so you can read that yourself, yeah? Yeah, watch this. I'm going to read on. I'll take it from the top of 9 again. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. Here we go. For grace and mercy listen to this, for grace and mercy is to his saints, and he has care for his elect. See that? Grace and mercy is to his saints. Now, who's his saints? Let me quickly show you that. Psalms chapter 148. Watch this. Psalms 148, verse 14. Psalms 148, verse 14, and it reads, He also exalted the horn of his people. See that? His people again. The praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye Yahweh. So that's who his saints are, is the Israelites. Now let me give you one more before I time out. Watch this. I'm going to go back to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3 and verse 10 now. Listen to this. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3 verse 10. Yeah, I'm going to take it at 9 again. I'm going to read into 10 quickly. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3 verse 9, and it reads, They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he has care for his elect. Listen to this, verse 10. But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imagination, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken Yahweh. See that? They've neglected the righteous. Who's the righteous? The Israelites who've been keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. They've neglected them, and they've neglected Yahushua. He's the righteous. He is who was teaching the law, statutes, and commandments, and to have faith in him. And they've neglected everything that the Most High has said. So I hope you got something with that. This is our book. The law, statutes, and commandments is for the Israelites. Do not give it to any other nation. With that, we out.